Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Slate, and what a couple days it's been. Sunday NBA ticket went 6-0, sweep. Both parlays hit. Bet of the day cashed. MLB past 2 days 9-4 plus 2.64 units. I think just been a really great 48 hours. Let's keep it rolling. We got 13 NBA games on tonight, but you already know the drill at this point in the season. Not a ton of value betting wise on a bunch of these, so I'm going through 7 games. Let's go.
Welcome to the Slate. The Slate. Hey, get the sauce.
First up, Miami on the road in Detroit for a 7 p.m. start. Total opens up at 218.5. Line opens up Detroit plus 11.5. Public is all over the Heat here. In fact, Miami's the second most public play on the board so far today, second only to the Lakers. Line does react and move a point. We're now looking at Detroit plus 12.5. So let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Detroit plus 3.42. So a pretty significant lead on the Pistons, 8-9 point lead on Detroit. The Detroit Pistons are 1-20 in their last 21 games. Yes, 1 win, 20 losses in their last 21. But believe it or not, Detroit's 3-2 against the spread in their last 5. They've shut down a large chunk of their lineup for the season, and they keep getting these huge point spreads, and you know what? They're starting to cover them. I know betting a team like the Pistons right now seems crazy. They have nothing to play for. I get that. That being said, what does Miami have to play for right now, really? The Heat are now 2 full games back of Brooklyn for the 6th seed with only 4 games to play. And the Nets have the tiebreaker. So Miami would need to gain 3 full games in the standings in just 4 games. I mean, they cannot. It's pretty much over. Miami's also 2 full games up on Atlanta and Toronto for the 7th spot. So they're pretty locked into the 7th seed. Bam Adebayo dealing with an injury. Maybe they rest him, get him ready for the play-in game. I'm taking the points here. I know it seems crazy, but give me the Pistons. Give me those 11.5 points or 12.5, whatever it's at now. This isn't going to be a huge bet. So let's head over to OddsJam and see what kind of value we can snag here. Looks like our best bet's going to be Detroit plus 12.5 at minus 105 on Fox Bet. So again, this won't be a huge bet, but I'm going to take the Pistons here. Next up, Bucks at Wizards, 13.5 points. I'm not laying 13.5 points on the road, and I'm also not taking Washington. Skip. Next game. Raptors at Hornets. I'm not laying 14.5 points on the road. I would say Hornets are pass for this one. I'm just going to skip it. Next. Cleveland on the road in Orlando, 7 p.m. start. Total opens up at 219, and this line opens up Orlando plus 5. This line drops down to Orlando plus 4.5 for a few hours, then comes back up to 5. Public is slightly leaning Orlando. Sharp money definitely on Orlando. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Magic minus 5.54. So a huge lean on the Magic, 10.5 point lean on Orlando. Jared Allen back in the lineup for Cleveland. Obviously, that's huge. Isaac Okoro still out, however. Orlando's rocking with pretty much a fully healthy roster, and they've been playing some good basketball recently. Orlando is 5-1 in their last 6 games. They won 5 of their last 6. Also, their last 5 at home, 5-0 straight up. 5-0 against the spread. 1 end covered, 5 straight home games. And this Magic team is playing such a balanced brand of basketball right now. It's really tough to find mismatches. Look at the Orlando Magic shot frequency over the last 5 and 10 games here. Wherever Cleveland is weak defensively, in this case it happens to be on the perimeter from the deep long range, Orlando can take advantage of it. They can score from anywhere. You can say the exact same thing about the Magic defense. I mean, we know Cleveland's coming for the basket. That's what they do. But look at Orlando's defensive numbers over the last 5-10 games. Where's the weakness here? I mean, protecting the basket isn't the strength of the Magic defense, but they've been solid. I mean, it's not a weakness. Cleveland's locked into the 4 seed. They're 3 games up on the Knicks, 2.5 back of Philly with just 3 to play. They're locked into the 4. Orlando's made it very clear they're finishing this season strong. They're playing great. We're getting 5 points at home. I'm definitely on the Magic here. So let's head over to OddsJam and steal some value for this game. Looks like our best bet's going to be Orlando plus 5 at minus 105 on Fox Bet again. So 2 bets in a row on Fox Bet. Let's lock that in. T-Wolves on the road in Brooklyn. This was a 7:30 p.m. start. Total opens up at 218.5. Line opens up Brooklyn minus 1. Public is all over Minnesota here, and the books definitely react to it. This line's moved 2.5 points already. We're now looking at Brooklyn plus 1.5. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Brooklyn minus 1.59. So what's that? 2.5, 3-point lean on the net. Really tough to get a pulse on this Minnesota team right now. I mean, they get Townsend Edwards back, right? And they play 5 games where they look like a top 5 team in the NBA. They go into New York, beat the Knicks. They go into Sacramento, beat the Kings. They go in Golden State, beat the Warriors. They went 4-1 in a 5-game stretch, and their only loss was in Phoenix, like a heartbreaking loss in Phoenix to the Kevin Durant fully healthy Suns. But then they follow that up with back-to-back home losses to the Lakers and to Portland. Now, is it because they came back home and this team's just playing better on the road right now? Or is it because Naz Reid got hurt and he's a more valuable piece to that rotation than we even realized? Really tough to say at this point. Matchup-wise, both these teams have the edge on the defensive end. T-Wolves have actually been the best defense, first in the NBA over the course of the season against the mid-range shot. Nets love shooting that long mid-range shot, so Minnesota definitely has a nice little mismatch there on defense. But on the other side, we know Minnesota loves to attack the rim. Look how good the Brooklyn Nets interior defense has been recently. It's been the strength of their team. They play great defense on the inside. One edge I did find for the Brooklyn side, the Nets have been good at getting to the foul line recently. Last 10 games, they're 8th in the NBA at free throw rate. Minnesota in the last 10 games, 29th at defensive free throw rate. So I definitely expect the Nets to dominate the matchup on the free throw line. Gun to my head, if I'm forced to pick a side here, I'd probably take Brooklyn. But honestly, I like the under in this one. This total opened up at 228.5. It's dropped 2 points, and now down to 226.5. Like I said, I like both of these defensive matchups. And in the last 5 games, both these teams have really slowed the pace down. Minnesota's just 16th in the NBA in possessions per game. Brooklyn, 27th. So both these teams in the bottom half of the NBA recently in pace. I don't bet a ton of totals in the NBA, but I like this one. I'm rocking the under here. So let's head over to OddsJam to maximize our value here. Looks like if you like Brooklyn, you can get it at +2 right now at -110 on most books. So let's scroll down here and look at the total. Looks like our best bet's going to be under 226 on Fox Bet again at -110. 3 bets in a row on Fox Bet. Kings at Pelicans, 8 p.m. start. Total opens up at 236.5. Line opens up New Orleans -1.5. Public is definitely on New Orleans on this one, and the books have reacted to it. This line's moved 2.5 points. We're now looking at New Orleans -4. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Pelicans -7.85. So even after the movement, we're still looking at a 4-point lead on New Orleans. I know the line movement points to the Pelicans, right? Pelicans have been monsters at home. That being said, I don't think people realize how truly great this Kings team has been on the road this season. In their last 10 games on the road, Sacramento is 9-1 straight up and 9-1 against the spread. They're also 25-13 against the spread on the road on the season. That's first in the NBA, best in the NBA. They're 24-14 straight up on the road this season. That's second best in the NBA, only to the Milwaukee Bucks. That being said, New Orleans is scorching hot. They're 7-1 in their last 8, 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 at home. It's crazy to think I have to fade one of these teams. As far as shot zones go, now the Kings defense hasn't been great for most of the season. That being said, look at their last chunk of games here. Look at the defense against the mid-range shot. They've done a good job. That's huge in this matchup because we know the Pellies love shooting the mid-range shot. I don't get to say this very often throughout the season, but I actually like this matchup for the Kings defense tonight. But look on the other side, I also like this Pelicans defense, how it matches up also. Pelicans continue to be a great defensive team on the perimeter. We all know Sacramento loves shooting the outside shot. But the Kings offense has been way more balanced recently than it was a couple months ago. They used to be very reliant on the outside shot. It's not really the case anymore. And look at New Orleans defense at the rim. They're slacking a little bit. I think Kings can get buckets at the basket. This should be a great game. Betting-wise, I'm not personally seeing a ton of value. I have a slight lean on the Kings and a slight lean on the over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine that. I'm going to go Sacramento team total over in this one. So let's head over to OddsJam, see what our best option here is. Click on Kings Pelicans, then click the drop down, go to team total. And it looks like our best bet is going to be Sacramento team total over 116.5 at -108 on Barstool. Boston on the road in Philly for an 8 p.m. start. Total opens up at 232.5, but it's dropped 6 points down to 226.5. Significant movement there. Line opens up Philly -1. This line moves 1.5 points up to Philly -2.5, and now it looks like we got a pros versus public setup here. Public is definitely on Boston. Sharp action seems to be now coming in on Philly. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Philadelphia plus 6.4, so huge lean on Boston. Injury-wise, Jaylen Brown is listed as questionable for the Celtics. Philly looks like they're going to be rocking at full strength tonight. Tough one to call here. This is definitely a coin flip. Two great teams in a marquee matchup. I'm personally rolling with Philly here. Of the last 18 Sixers games, only 5 have been at home. In my opinion, playing 13 out of 18 games on the road has decreased the value of the Sixers in the eyes of the public. People are forgetting that this team's been good as hell at home all season. They're 25-14 against the spread at home this year. That's second best in the NBA, second only to Golden State. This game doesn't mean much standing-wise. Boston and Philly are pretty much locked into the 2 and 3. The thing is, I think there's going to be more motivation on the Philly side. Boston just had a huge statement win over Milwaukee. They're playing well. They go into Milwaukee, beat the Bucks. Boston fans are fired up for the playoffs. Sixers are kind of on the other side of the coin. They're just 2-4 in their last 6. That team could really use a big statement win, like a home win over the Celtics. Public is on Boston, but the line moves towards Philly. I like that. I'm going to roll with the Sixers here. I'm taking Philly at home. So let's head over to OddsJam, see if we can steal some value here. It looks like our best bet's going to be Philly -2 at -110. You can get that on several different books, so let's lock that in. Grizzlies at Blazers. Nope. Skip. Next. Hawks on the road in Chicago. 8 p.m. start. This total opens up 225.5. Line opens up Chicago -1.5. Public's pretty split even on this one, but the sharp money definitely came in on Chicago pretty heavy, and it moved the line. Went up to Chicago -4, but now it's back down to 3.5. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Chicago -2.14, so slight lean, 2-point lean on the Hawks. This is the best matchup of the night as far as standings goes. Both these teams need this game. If the Bulls win, this is crazy because the Bulls were out of the play-in game, just 2.5, 3 weeks ago? If they win this one, they will jump the Hawks into the 9 seed. Trae Young is listed as questionable for the Hawks. That's huge because Atlanta's already 30th in above the break 3-point frequency. They already have no presence from that area on the court. Trae Young's their only guy that shoots from there. So if Trae Young doesn't play, Chicago's going to be able to focus even more of their energy on the interior where they know the Hawks are planning on attacking. I like the Bulls defensive matchup tonight, whether Trae Young plays or not, but if he doesn't play, I love the Bulls defense tonight. And on the other side, you want to know which NBA team is dead last, 30th, dead last against the long mid-range shot over the last 5 and 10 games? Yep, the Atlanta Hawks. And you want to know who shoots a shitload of those shots? Yep, the Chicago Bulls. Matchup points towards the Bulls heavy. I really wish I jumped on this when it opened. I would love to have a Chicago -1.5 ticket, but I'm still on the Bulls at 4. Just don't love it as much. So let's head over to OddsJam, try to snag some value here. It looks like our best option is going to be Chicago -3 at -112 on FanDuel, so we're stealing a hook there.
Update, Trae Young is ruled out. I got the bet down as soon as I could have. Just put 1 unit on Bulls -4.5 on BetMGM. I'm watching now. It hasn't updated yet. I'm thinking this line moves up to about 4.5, 5. Still on the Bulls.
Nuggets at Rockets. Jokic is questionable. How badly does Denver even want that game? I'm skipping it. Next. Spurs at Suns. 18.5 point spread. No chance. Next. Oklahoma City on the road in Golden State. 10 p.m. start. Total opens up at 240.5. Line opens up Golden State -6. Public is definitely on Golden State in this one, and the line reacts to it and moves 2 full points. We are now looking at Warriors -8. So let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Golden State -11.86. So even after the movement, we're still looking at a 3.5, 4-point lean on the Warriors. Not even thinking twice about this one. Definitely on the Thunder. Oklahoma City is 9-2-2 against the spread when getting 7 points or more. I mean, have to take them. They've been excellent in this spot. I know fading Golden State at home is a tough pill to swallow for a lot of you. I mean, they've been excellent at home all season. I don't blame you. That being said, I've watched Golden State's recent home games. I've watched 3 of their last 4 home games. They had some lucky covers in there. I'm not saying they're not playing well at home, but I will say they're not completely dominating the games at home like they were a couple months ago. I mean, they've had some fourth quarter comeback covers recently. I'm taking the points here. Give me OKC. So let's head over to OddsJam, see what our best option is, and check it out. We're getting another hook here. We can get Oklahoma City plus 8.5 at -115 on BetMGM, so I'm locking that in. If anything changes with any of these bets, I will let you know on Twitter, so give me a follow there if you're interested. Also, if you want the final tickets that has every single bet I'm making with the exact amounts, parlay of the day, top bet, that kind of stuff, head over to KyleKirms.com or download the Sauce Network app. All right, 13 NBA games on tonight, but not a ton of value, so bet responsibly. Also, we got an MLB slate, a lot of action. Let's stay green, let's stay hot. I hope everyone has a good one. I'll talk to you on Twitter.